He intended to participate wherever pigs fit into the scheme of things, without losing dignity or identity. He took it for granted that there was a place for pigs, and that the teacher would know that.
So what do you say to a kid who is already dreaming up a costume of pink long underwear, pipe cleaner tail, and a paper cup for a nose?
What do you say to an innocent little pig who doesn't see his career as an actor teetering on the brink of utter humiliation?
And what do you say to all pigs? All those who are different and do not accept the available boxes and pigeonholes?
So what did the teacher say at the moment?
Well, sometimes teachers talk more like fairy godmothers.
So be it. Norman was declared the pig in the story of Cinderella. It was fine with the rest of the class. Nobody else wanted to be the pig anyhow.
And since there was nothing in the script explaining what the pig was supposed to do, the action was left up to Norman. As it turned out, he gave himself one of the all-time best walk-on parts in the history of children's theater. He decided he was Cinderella's personal pig. Where she went, he went.
He made no sound. He simply sat on his back haunches and observed what was going on, like some silently supportive Greek chorus.
The expressions on his face reflected the details of the dramatic action. Looking worried,
Sad,
Anxious,
hopeful,
puzzled,
mad,
bored.
sick.
and pleased, as the moment required.
There was no doubt about what was going on, and no doubt that it was important.
One look at the pig and you knew. The pig was so earnest, so sincere, so very there.
Norman created such dramatic tension that people who knew how the story was supposed to end began to have doubts.
At the climax, when the prince finally placed the glass slipper on Cinderella's foot, and the ecstatic couple hugged and rode off to live happily ever after, Norman finally made his move. He went wild with joy, dancing on the stage on his back feet. And barking like a dog.
In rehearsal, the teacher had tried explaining to Norman. Even if there was a pig in the story of Cinderella, there is no such thing as a dancing, barking pig.
Well, there is now!
It's true, Norman. It's true. Knock him dead, pig.
The presentation at the teachers' conference was a smash hit.
As Norman danced his dance, the crowd of weary teachers laughed, hand-wept, and cheered.
And when the pig stumbled on for his curtain call, the applause turned into a spontaneous standing ovation.
The teachers were able to see that the real Cinderella was not a little girl with a button nose, but Norman, the dancing, barking pig.
And they knew the real fairy godmother was not the child waiting for fairy wand, but the teacher, standing weeping in the wings.
Kindergarten teachers know magic when they see it.
Well, the kindergarten class had many invitations to come and perform their highly acclaimed production of Cinderella. Sometimes, the teacher would have to explain what it was about the performance that was so unique.
It has a pig in it, you see.
Oh, really?
Yes, the star of the show is a dancing, barking pig.
But there is no dancing, barking pig in Cinderella.
Well, there is now.
In an early dry dark of an October's evening, the neighborhood children are playing hide and seek. I remember how, and I could join their game in a moment, if they invited me. But adults don't play hide and seek. Not for fun, anyway. Did you have a kid in your neighborhood who is so good nobody could find him? We did. After a while, we'd just give up on him and go off, leaving him to rot wherever he was. Sooner or later, he'd show up, all mad because we didn't keep looking for him. And we'd get mad back because he wasn't playing the game the way it was supposed to be played. There's hiding and there's finding, we'd say. And he'd say, it's hide and seek, not hide and give up. And we'd all fight about who made up the rules and who cares about who anyway, and how we wouldn't play with it anymore if we didn't get it straight. Things like that. Hide and seek and yell. No matter what, though, next time he would hide too good again. He's probably still hiding somewhere for all I know. The neighborhood game goes on, and there's a kid under my front window, hiding in a pile of leaves. He's been there for some time now, and everybody else has been found, and they're about to give up on him over at the banks. I thought about going out to the banks and telling him where he was hiding. And I thought about setting the leaves on fire, but Finally, I just said, "Get down, kid." It's hard to know how to be helpful sometimes. A man I know found out last year he has terminal cancer. He was a doctor and knew about dying and didn't want to make his family and friends suffer through that with him. So he kept his secret and died. Everybody said how brave he was to bear his suffering in silence. But privately, his family and friends said how hurt they were that he hadn't needed them, didn't trust their strength. And they said how hurt they were that he hadn't said goodbye. He hid too good. Getting caught would have kept him in the game. Hide and seek, grown-up style. Wanting to hide, confused about being found, and just don't know how to find them. Better than hide and seek, I like a game called Sardines. Now in Sardines, the person who's it goes and hides, and everybody else goes looking for him. But when they find him, they don't let anybody know. Instead, they get in and hide with him. But when they find him, they don't let anybody know. They just get in with him, and then finally, everyone's just stacked up in a heap like a pile of puppies. And then somebody giggles, and then somebody laughs, and then everybody gets found. By the sound of laughter, everybody gets found.
True story. Larry Walters.
Our hero. Walters is a truck driver, your average guy. He's sitting in his lawn chair in his backyard, wishing he could fly.
For as long as he can remember, he always wanted to go up, to be up in the air somehow, to ride the sky.
But there was no way he was ever going to pilot a plane, and hang gliding just seemed too dangerous.
So he spent most of his summer afternoons sitting in his backyard in his ordinary old aluminum lawn chair, the kind with the webbing ribbons.
The next chapter takes place July 2nd, 1982. It appears on television and in newspapers across the country.
There's old Larry Walters up in the air over Los Angeles, flying at last.
Really getting up there.
Still sitting in his aluminum lawn chair, only now it's hooked up to 45 helium-filled weather surplus balloons.
Walters has a parachute on, a CB radio, a six-pack of beer, some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and a BB gun that shoots over the balloons to come down.
But instead of going just a couple of hundred feet over his neighborhood, he shot up 11,000 feet, right through the reserve forest. This is a true story.
The human race sits in its chair, some saying there's nothing left to do.
Others that the human situation is hopeless.
Meanwhile, for the Larry Walters of the world, our time balloons to their chairs.
When asked by the press why he did, he said,
Well, you can't just sit there.
When asked if he was scared, he answered.
You bet.
When asked if he would do it again, he said,
Nope.
When asked, are you glad you did it?
"Are you glad you did it?"
"Are you glad you did it?"
He grinned from ear to ear and said,
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes.
When the dream is held close to the heart.
And imagination is applied to what there is close at hand.
everything is still possible.